Thank you so much for joining us, Elsie, all the way in Glasgow. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me, Cynthia Kimola, and also to just be insightful and educate the Cynthia Kimola family on scholarships and studying abroad. So before we start, you can just introduce yourself, tell us your name, where you are studying, what university you are in Kenya, and what led you to think about studying abroad.
Okay, my name is Elsie Jerop. I'm a Commonwealth Scholar 2019-2020 here at the University of Glasgow right now. I'm in Glasgow, Scotland. I am pursuing a Master's of Public Health. Right now I'm working on my dissertation. In Kenya, I went to the University of Kabianga in Kericho. And what led me to apply for this scholarship was number one, the idea itself is inviting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who doesn't want to study abroad? And number two, I didn't have money to do my master's. I mean, I would have probably after some years, but I saw opportunities that could fund your education, and I decided to give it a go.
That's wonderful. Now, when you're saying like at that time you were excited about the prospect or the idea of studying abroad, how many scholarships did you apply for, or take us through the journey until now you finally got to win the Commonwealth Scholarship?
To be honest, I mean, I've really applied for a lot of scholarships before this one came through, and the closest I've been was like another nomination, but I've been applying for scholarship ever since I completed my undergrad. I gave my first shot to the Commonwealth in 2018, and by then I was really naive. So, sort of, should I say really naive? No, well, I didn't really know so much, or let's say my mind was still like sort of tamed, and I wasn't exposed to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And but I gave it. Sorry, it's the oath that I just ate. I gave it a go, and I used the internet a lot, and I've applied for so many scholarships. I mean, if I were to count them, and I've been rejected in almost 98% because only 2 have gone through. So in 2018, I the first thing I did was to get my passport, because that is a major requirement, and I was really trying to figure out whether I should do the IELTS exam or not. Number one, because it's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 23K. And number two, I hadn't really wrapped my head around the idea of really pursuing this goal of studying abroad. And therefore, I would say that it was a learning process. So afterwards, I really applied for so many scholarships, and eventually I got nominated for one in Belgium, but I was in the B list, list where not unless someone in the A list pulls out.
That's like a reserve list.
Exactly. So, but it was a really interesting process, because at first they take you through the whole process. They tell you like, we received 350, we'll be receiving we filter into 100. Then you're told that you are in 100. Then the next thing, we will be picking 24 out of the 100. Then you're told you're in the 24. So it was kind of a very interesting, and it really gave me a lot of efforts to push for this scholarship, because at last I could see some light. And with the persistence and the need to kind of keep going and applying for this scholarship. So eventually I applied for the Commonwealth Scholarship, because I kind of knew the process from my initial attempt. So I gave it my whole, literally, I invested a lot of time to just sit down and defend my case, and that was it.
Wow.
Until last year, on 1st of May, that is when an email was written that I had been nominated and not a reserve. By then I was praying for someone to pull out in the Belgian one so that I could. But I was like, I have this now. And it was such a...
That's curiously, is it the Belgium government scholarship you're talking about?
Yeah, it's called the Vlaroos. I don't know, it was it's if you just Google Vlarous, VLIR-OUS. Yeah, it's the Flanders. There's something called Flanders or Flemish government or something of that sort. Yeah.
I'll be
So I
able to
was,
look for it and link it up in the description so that people can be able to have a look at it.
yeah, because it was a master's of epidemiology for 2 years, and it was a really nice course because I felt like the 2 years would give me time to really sort of hone my skills and yeah. So yeah, it was a really nice. I mean, if I didn't get these, and I would have prayed for that. Yeah.
To get that one. Okay, so you attempted for the Commonwealth Scholarship. Now, for you, when you were applying for scholarship, did you have set destinations, or you were just applying for whatever scholarship that would fit your public health or medical field?
Okay, to start with, I like public health and I wouldn't have diverted into something else. So, number one, I knew I wanted to do a master's of public health and or anything related. Though at some point I've applied for, I don't know, water management and all that. I mean, sometimes you just need to put your eggs in so many baskets. So I wanted to do masters of public health, and I knew a friend who had gone through like this whole Commonwealth thing. So and it was successful. So knowing someone who actually like has gone through this process successfully is such a like sort of an inspiring point and all that. So and again, UK. I mean, UK is like UK is UK. You see, like it's one of the best places you can ever imagine to be, and the way it's so difficult to get here. I mean, on a normal, like you wouldn't just come here.
Yeah.
So and the system of education and the quality. Again, I was just trying, just giving a shot. To be honest, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the guidance that you got from this friend of yours, what sort of guidance was it? Because of course, it inspires you to see, like, wow, I know someone who has actually tried and won the scholarship award. How did they assist you in terms of applying for the Commonwealth Scholarship?
Okay, to be honest, I knew this friend after like being aware of Commonwealth, but not like anyone who had gone through. So the idea that I was sort of afraid to tell him to, I don't know, to give me the essays, or I don't know. I mean, it's just in me. I mean, I don't like to sort of, but I asked him how the whole process was, and he told me that yeah, I got it, and there are friends of mine who got it. Yes, yeah, and I really invested in the internet to dig. I dug a lot, and I invested a lot of time and effort into this, because not so many people realize the denominators of applying for a scholarship. I mean, you really need to have a very strong like mindset.
Yeah.
You have to sit down, you have to create, you have to rethink, you have to reinvent, you have to defend your case. Because for one thing, Commonwealth Scholarship is just about academic excellence, academic merit, and potential impact for development. It's not really about, I know of people who don't really have any work experience and they were able to get through here because through words they were able to defend their case and to be outstanding, of course, the academic records. So I just needed to. He was really instrumental in sort of giving me that inspiration that indeed someone from Kenya who I know actually went to the UK through Commonwealth Scholarship, and that was sort of catapulted me into
That's fantastic. Now, because of course you have to like either spend sleepless nights, late nights, or early mornings to write the essays and all these other things. How are you managing your time? Were you working at the time? Were you applying for the scholarship? How are you going through it? If someone is trying to also start, how would you advise them, like through what you did?
Okay, so to be when I was applying for the one that went through, I was an intern. I was an intern somewhere in Busia, working for a certain organization, and I sat. My roommate can attest to this. my flatmate, my roommate, my friend, my close friend can really attest. I sat a lot, and you can always create time. I mean, whatever is important for you, you can always create time for it. I mean, come on, after all, it's just your life. I
Yeah.
mean, you really know what is good for you. So I really sat down and I did a lot of writing. And even for the Belgium one was the one that went through first. I had to do in a lot of drafts, and you have to invest. I don't know whether you probably will ask this question afterwards, but you also have to invest in a lot of people, like people you can bank on to even go through your essays or like letters, motivational letters, and all that. Yeah, so I took in a lot of correction and I developed and refined my ideas around applying for scholarships and used the internet a lot,
Yeah.
sat and wrote. Like with Commonwealth, you with scholarship you will have to write. If you are lazy with writing, you can't go anywhere. And it's not being general because you're trying to make yourself you're all trying to grab these very limited opportunities, and it's on a global like scale sort of. So you have to defend your case, why you are standing and why you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So and sorry, yeah. So by the time I was submitting this application for Commonwealth, I had moved to another like sort of a senior, like not senior, yeah, senior, because I was a senior position, and sometimes I would be in the office, and when I get a break, I would use like the internet to sort of refine my application and all that. You see, like you have to just. I remember the last day when I was submitting this Commonwealth, I sat in the entire weekend indoors. In Kisumu, it was hot. I was not yet used to it, but I really wanted to do this really nicely.
Now, one thing I'm noticing you're mentioning, you're saying you really use the internet. You really use the internet to be able to craft a perfect essay. Could you tell us
Yeah.
how you used it? How did you use the internet? How, what resources were you going for? What were you looking at?
Yeah. So first off, I have subscribed to the like scholarshippositions.com. Like it has been my main sort of way of getting to know about this scholarship. Then at times, other than outlining the scholarships, they put ways on how to write your essays and all that kind of stuff. Then I was just Googling how to write an essay. And after how to write an essay, you just dig, it brings you a lot of things. Then you Google, you just go deeper and deeper. And I mean, the internet has everything. I
Yes.
mean, it's totally unlimited. You just need to sit, just sit and focus, because it's your life at stake after all, and you're the only one who knows what you want for yourself. So you can literally Google everything. Myself, I Google everything, like how to do this, how to do this.
Yeah.
Those how to's, they have answers that can change your life. So
Yeah.
long as you have the determination to keep digging. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm asking you this because some people think there's a secret formula, you know.
Hey,
Eh?
Akuna,
Yeah,
no,
the
there's
step.
nothing. You have to. There's nothing special about this. What makes you different from others is that you invested your time and at times even resources, money, effort, and a lot of sacrifice, because you're not the only one who's competing for these opportunities. So I'm sure a lot of these people who've gotten scholarships, they will tell you that one constant thing is that it's the mindset and perseverance, and you have to also learn to manage your expectations, because you'll get a lot of regret, and if you're the kind of person who can easily you feel down or sort of disappointed because things didn't go your way, then probably you can easily get depressed.
True.
But it doesn't want that. It doesn't. There's no room for that
Yeah.
when you want to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
Be ready to get the
You need
all
tough
sort of
skin, a tough
rejection.
skin, true.
Yeah.
And just be like, okay, it's a rejection. Let's wait for the other one we applied for. And you're just like, okay, next, until you kind of get used to the rejection. And
In
it
fact, it should
gives you,
motivate you.
it does
Yeah,
motivate you.
yeah.
That's cool. Now let's zone in into the Commonwealth Scholarship. What
Okay.
I know it is, I was on the Shipping Scholarship. Both of them are offered by the UK government, but
Mhm.
they are just under, what do you call it? They have different applications in a way.
Yeah.
So for you, the Commonwealth, because I know you have to be nominated. How did you go about it, and which body
Mhm.
nominated you?
Yeah. So, like the Commonwealth Scholarship Scheme, we have a lot of Commonwealths under the Commonwealth Scholarship Scheme. We have the split site for PhD, we have the Commonwealth PhD, Commonwealth General Scholars, and for us, like Commonwealth Shared Scholars, we are nominated by the school.
Mhm.
And then for scholars, they are nominated by their government. And then there are guys who are nominated by, I don't know, nominating agencies
Agencies.
that are qualified, I don't know, organizations and all for women and charities. I'm not really sure about that. But myself, I was nominated by University of Glasgow. So after I set up, I got an admission to study Masters of Public Health. I used that to go into the Commonwealth portal. And with the Commonwealth portal, you will write essays. You will write essays. I think, is it 6 or 7? I mean, you have to write impact development statement whereby you sort of structure your experience or your goals to the course that you want to undertake and how you will translate that into development impact. Commonwealth is just about development impact. I mean, even at the moment I'm doing a course on development impact, they just sing development impact. So you will have to write an essay about development impact. You will write your goals within, I don't know, 5 years. You will write your future goals again. You will write your voluntary experience. You will write your leadership. You will write. In that portal you will write. But I mean, if you want it, you will go for it. So nothing will really stop you. So after what I did, I got admissions for 3 universities in the UK and in Scotland particularly. So one was in Masters in Public Health, the other one was in Global Health in different universities, and the other one was in still in Scotland, Heriot-Watt, something to do with water management and sort of that. So I set up my application, and it took me a lot of time to like write drafts and go through them once again with another fresh perspective. You have to like send out to someone and send out to a different person, then again reconcile the comments and see how best to really defend your case. So after you can even take up to 1 month in the portal itself before you actually hit the submit button. And in the end, you'll have to. They don't really require much. After you do all that essay thingy, then you'll remain with your passports and your transcripts. Then afterwards, when you get nominated, is when they will tell you to send your reference. Like the school will tell you they've nominated you, so you can either be a reserve or like the first one. Yeah, so myself, I was like the first one. So there was someone somewhere who was also waiting for me to pull out, just like the way I was waiting for the Belgium one. Yeah, so it's really a lot of writing, and yeah, and just like I said, it's academic merit and potential development impact, just the two. So you have to, if you have good academic records, and they just require like a first class, a second class, upper division, and going upwards. So I mean, you just need your transcripts clean and know how to use your words and think bigger. Yeah, because that is what they always want.
Okay, so the portal, you've told people like be prepared to write. It's just a given. Now for the three unis, do you also apply to them separately and also write motivation letters for them, or once you do it in the portal, the separate universities will just read your essays and be able to pick you from there?
You see, initially, there's that process of getting an admission to each of these universities. You have to write personal statements, motivation letter, differently, like depending on how they've structured their own way of admissions. You have to finish that first, and of course, you're not compelled to kind of do three separate. I mean, you're only trying to increase your chances by applying to separate to a lot of universities. You can as well. I mean, the portal allows you to apply to 3 universities. Huh? Yeah, I don't know whether it changed this year, but that was it during the time that I was applying. So you apply to each and get admission to each. So like I had 3 admissions.
Yes. And then
3
now you
admissions.
come back to the portal and do the application for the scholarship.
Yeah, and now, Maki, you have 3, like in that portal, you have also 3, like, you get it? Because you might want to structure your development impact to fit your course. I mean, it's all about tailoring the content that you want to your course and your experience. It's a weave of a lot of things. Huh? So, I mean, if you're doing global health and public health, they're more or less the same thing. So you might decide to just copy paste and you see. But if you decide to do different things, then that's up to you because you will have to write different things. But remember, you're competing a lot. I mean, against so many people, so you have to be very intentional about it and invest again time, as I've said. So after you set up the 3 applications, then you submit. It goes to like the universities that you've applied for. Then with their own committees and all that, they'll go through each of their application and see who deems fit for the scholarship. And they will tell you that they forwarded your name to Commonwealth. Commonwealth will contact you for your reference. And then again, the school will tell you to do the medical stuff. Yeah, and that's where the whole thing now begins.
That's good. So out of that, Glasgow is the one that nominated you, right?
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. Now, I noticed that you said you are applying to Scottish universities. I was also in Scotland. Why did you want to come study in Scotland? To go study in Scotland?
I've written about this in my blog. It was just how do you call this thing? I mean, for some reason, I was just attracted to Scotland. I don't know, because of the name, because of I was just reading some books some time back. Then I had Scotland somewhere, and I've always dreamt about Scotland. And other than the shitty weather, it's so amazing. Glasgow is really nice. I love the kills. I love the green parks. I mean, I think I chose the best. And again, the uni is just amazing. I mean, if I start talking about University of Glasgow, probably it's because I've never seen anything of this sort. But I just love everything about the school. I mean, you see sometimes they're telling you give us areas of improvement, and you're like, wait, is there an area of improvement that you need here? I mean, literally, everything is just new and it's just perfect for me. So there's no room for improvement. But to be honest, Scotland is really nice. It's really nice.
And the people are so friendly. I loved my time there. It was just fantastic. And the mixture of the city life plus the greenery, you can just go for hike.
Yeah. And for us, we are in the West End. I mean, like a suburb.
So now, you've been able to learn that you have been nominated by Glasgow. This scholarship, you're getting it. Is there anything more that you needed to do for the Commonwealth Scholarship? Did you have to do any interviews with them, or it was just you've been nominated by the uni and now the details?
No, I didn't have to do anything else. The breakthrough, or like the secret is just with the application. And to be honest, it's a lengthy one. You have to really invest your time in it, and once you're through and you have people who can write your reference, that's all you need.
Good.
And it's a fully funded scholarship. I mean, I didn't pay a dime. The only thing I paid was the £23 for you see, when you go to that place of visa scanning, and I think I was just excited because there was an option of like doing it on your own. So I was like, I can do this, yeah. So nothing after the secret is just with the application and defending your case and showing why you are capable of like utilizing or capitalizing on that like opportunity and making the best out of yourself, and that's it.
So it's a fully funded scholarship. What do you get?
You get you get a monthly stipend, you get warm clothing allowance, you get this is grant, travel grant. Yeah, that's it. And they pay for your medical
NHS, the medical,
NHS, yeah. And what else?
return
That's it.
flights,
What?
return flights to and fro.
Yeah, and return flights, of course. I mean, yani ndege Emirates. Hey, yeah. Hey, hey.
Ah, that is the joy. That is the joy. So at least now you see, after all that effort, you know, the sacrifice for the 3 months. This is all you're doing it for. You know, you get to
Yeah,
enjoy a fully funded scholarship, and you come to the UK kind of stress free because you don't have to worry about money in a way.
yeah.
So, but you are allowed. Your visa allows you to work if you want to as a student, right?
Yeah, for 20 hours max.
Have you been?
But Commonwealth discourages you. It wants you as a scholar to read. They got you from your home country to come and read. But as you know, we are Africans. I mean, pounds for the pocket is good. So, and to be honest, I've worked for like Rangers Football Club, and I wouldn't call it work because I would say it's an out of class activity because I really enjoyed watching the games. To be honest, it was really kind of difficult, and I had issues settling in, and I was sort of vulnerable. But looking back right now, it all makes sense, and it was a learning process, and of course, transitioning. It was my first time outside my country. I
Yeah.
mean, other than kuvuka hapo Busia kwenda Uganda, I mean, like crossing the border. So, in a very different country away from home, I mean, sometimes it can get really lonely, to be honest, and at times you struggle fitting in with people from different cultures and background, and you don't find your place. And as a person, I'm really outgoing and all that. I had to learn how to just sometimes enjoy my own company and all that. And to be honest, this year I've done really well. I mean, I've been engaged in activities that compared to first semester, I've done a lot of things, like literally a lot of things. Watching, going for movies alone, like taking a whole bucket of popcorns and like also clubs and societies. I've gotten friends who really like you can hang out with. And what else have I been doing? And just studying and studying and studying and studying a lot. In Kenya, I haven't seen people smoking this much, or I don't know, it's me who doesn't.
No.
Do you think people
I
smoke
tell
this?
people that for me that was a big culture shock, the amount of smoke. Like people smoke every corner. So me as a secondary smoker, like it was just so much coming through. In Kenya, that law was passed. You have smoking zones. So you never
Yeah,
actually see people smoking.
yeah. I think that was my greatest culture shock, and this thing of saying thank you, please, when you are late from you're saying cheers. No, we don't. Yeah, let's just do that. Like it looks really rude. Courtesy here is like a culture. You see,
Yeah.
you have to learn how to say please, thank you, okay, sorry. Sometimes even when you're not even sorry, and people in Kenya can just hit you or just step on your leg and no one really gives a damn. So, but and initially people couldn't get my accent. I don't know whether it has changed, but if it has changed, I'm not really to blame. I mean, I had to. When you go to Rome, do what Romans do. I mean, you have to start talking the way people are talking, and they'll be like, they cannot hear you well, but
Yeah, you were.
yeah, so yeah, but it's really nice.
And what about the walking? Because for me, that was also something like I had to get used to. Because here in Kenya, you're used to getting the matatu at every corner. But now here there are buses, but you have to walk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, walking. Hey. But people are really physically active, Cynthia. I mean, it's also a culture. I mean, the way people run and work out and do a lot of. I mean, people here, other than the shitty food,
Yeah.
people do a lot of workouts and physical activity and all that. And yeah, you have to do a lot of walking, to be honest, because one thing, it's either you're in a bus or a subway or your bike or walking. Because we don't have cars, of course, and a lot of people have cars, and sometimes the bus can fail you and all that. Walking just became, yeah, that's true.
Way of life, yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about classes and the teaching system, because it's very students led. It's not a lecturer just giving you all the information. You have to actually do the work. How did you get adapted to that? Was it a struggle at first, and so far how are you handling it?
Hey, don't mention it. At first, I was feeling so dumb. I mean, like, to be honest, even reading an academic paper just looked as if it's Greek language. I don't know it's whether I can attribute that to the gap between my graduation year and like graduating and being out of school for 2 years and coming back to such an intense program. It was really difficult at first. And yeah, it's student led, but it's such an advantaged environment. Like digital learning is spot on, top notch. Lecturers are so supportive, and they're really like, you can just send an email to someone and they respond. The library is so equipped.
Yeah.
Classes are well planned. Everything was just, you can get even recordings afterwards after you go in for a lecture. I mean, everything is just, for me, everything is just quality.
Yeah.
That's why I was telling you, when someone tells you, what do you think we should improve, you're like, seriously? So the classes are really nice. I mean, it stimulates your thinking. I mean, if I compare my thinking from how it was before I came here, and it had sort of a toll on my memory because I don't keep a lot of things in my mind anymore. I don't know, it's because of this intense program, but to be honest, it has been, I've evolved in so many dimensions academically, and the way I look at things is so different. There's that aspect of academic writing and critical thinking, which is so integral in public health. And as of the moment, I'm working on my dissertation, and I read academic papers like a machine. I annotate, I can pick out things very quickly. So it really conditions you very fast. The fact that it's intense and it's short lived, it has to stretch you to your limits. So it can really be frustrating, but this system, I think once you go through this kind of education system, then you're better prepared for any kind of academic undertaking, to be honest. This master's of 1 year, looking at it from another angle, the fact that you've been provided by all these resources, I mean, studying at such advantaged learning environment is such an enriching experience. It's so wonderful. It depends, of course, on your outlook. For me, I've always seen it as a massive opportunity, and to be honest, I've taken advantage of everything I could possibly do within my own, be it attending Excel lectures in the library, be it attending, I don't know, Cape Scientific, like to have an academic debates. I've literally been involved in everything that I could do. Yeah.
But in terms of community, have you met or have friends there from Kenya, from other countries? How, just the social side now?
Yeah, so the Kenyan community here has been sort of vibrant. Of course, I got it, like you really played a very big part when you were here. And to be honest, it's been supportive, and we've met quite a number of times, and that aspect of eating and all that. My other friends are like, I have classmates from India, and in Congo and Nigeria, and others from US. what living away from home teaches you the most is to learn how to live alone and to enjoy your own company and all that, because most of the time everyone is also dealing with their own battles, academic battles.
I think you brought that up. Also, there are sometimes the periods where when you're studying abroad, you're feeling a bit low, feeling a
Yeah,
bit lost. It brings depressive moments at times. And they have this good supportive, what do you call them? Like counseling sessions in schools that
platform.
happen for free. For you, how
Yeah.
have you dealt with it and what did you do?
At first, I had a lot of problems trying, as I told you, trying to fit in and socially, and I would feel very lonely at times. And being the active girl that I've been since a young age, it was shocking that I had to know how to live by myself and all that. So we have the international club. It was called the international club in my church.
Mhm.
So I used to go there like on Fridays, and I have like close friends, Kenyan friends whom we talk to. And again, you have to get used a lot to talking over the phone and not face to face meetings. That is another thing. But on that point, they have a lot of supportive systems in place. I mean, these people, mental health is crucial. Not the way it's not so much spoken in Kenya, and like things are changing in Kenya, but here mental health is really crucial. Depression is real. Sometimes you can break down, and it's really okay not to be okay. Personally, there are times that I've had a lot of pressure
Yeah.
academically, expectations, and all of that. I've had a lot of struggles in the past, but I learned how to hack that myself, because at times we are simply bulging situations more than the way they seem.
Mhm.
And again, we are human. Sometimes you have to know how to identify it and work on it, because it can really take a toll on you, considering that it's cold, you're away from home. Sa- masomo yaingiza ingine,
Mhm.
I don't know what. I mean, it can really be very, it doesn't, it might look as if it's all rosy, but it's not. But you just have to identify ways to keep yourself afloat. I mean, be
Yeah.
very kind on yourself.
What are maybe some of the key things, just key takeaways that you can give them as we finish up that can
Oh,
actually guide them or encourage them to give it a shot?
okay. Number one, it starts with the mindset. As I've said initially, you have to be very willing and intentional. Number two, you have to invest in a lot of time and effort, and sometimes money. I'll give you a very clear example. For my two scholarships that I've gone through, the Belgian one, I had to spend a lot of money in terms of legalizing my documents in the embassy, and I don't know, running from one government office to the another one to get that nomination. Like, it's not even sure, but I didn't do the English exam because again I had to run to my uni and get the admin and get the registrar to write me a letter to show that my English was taught in my undergrad was taught in English. So you have to invest in a lot of money and resources. Like, nothing comes free in this life. You have to invest your time, you have to invest your emotions, resources, and everything. Number three, you need to have people in your life who are there to support you, be it your referee. I have mentors. I have a clique of people in my life whom I can bank on. And these are people that I've kept close for a particular reason, because they also believe in me and push me a lot. I have a very supportive mentor. I have people who read my essays, of people who, like, you see the way they say, like, you surround yourself with people who like-minded and all that.
Yeah.
You need to know the kind of people in your life who can really help you and push you. I have a lot of friends. Yes. And number four, I haven't said this before, but I really thank God. I don't take this opportunity for granted, and I prayed for it. And God also rewards you depending on your efforts. to be very honest, the things that have happened in my life, they've happened because of God's favor and hard work. A lot of hard work, like the hard work. Everyone who's got a scholarship will tell you, like, hard work is constant. You have to apply for it.
I am so grateful that you took the time to just have this conversation with me. And Elsie has a blog. I will be able to link it in the description box below, and also just details about her as well. So please subscribe to the channel so that it can be also to get more people, to just to touch more people, to get more people to be interviewed, and more people to see this content. And yes, everything you need will be on my website, cynthia.kimola.com. I have weekly videos that I upload on this YouTube channel. So please, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who you think needs this.